Pokemon Legends ZA. On February 27th of this year, we received our first look at Pokemon Legends ZA. In this teaser, we were introduced to the game's location. We don't currently know when or what to expect in Legends ZA, but we can make a few educated guesses as to what we might see in the game. You see, Legends ZA is set in Lumiose City, and we know Lumiose City is set in the Kalos region. So it stands to reason that Legends ZA will draw on elements from X and Y. I have a few ideas. In order to traverse Lumiose City, we are going to need a fast travel option. Luckily enough for our case, X and Y already has us covered. In X and Y, there are two main ways to fast travel. Taxi, a select your destination form of fast travel with multiple options, and Go-Goat, a Pokemon that takes you to a single location, depending on where you initiate the fast travel. The next thing I want to look at, Pokemon Tournament and Sun and Moon. More specifically, let's consider the following elements: Z moves, Ultra Burst, and Synergy Burst. In terms of getting started, let's understand how Synergy Burst works in Pokemon. Synergy Burst is activated when a Pokemon fills up their Synergy gauge. When activated, a Pokemon's HP regenerates. They get better stats and a new burst attack. Additionally, any Pokemon with a Mega Evolution Mega Evolve. There are also forms that are exclusive to Pokemon, but maybe not as exclusive as you might think. Enter Ultra Megaopolis, the world where we are introduced to a Pokemon known as Ultra Necrozma. This form of Necrozma is fused with Solgaleo or Lunala and energized by a special Z crystal. This form change is aptly named Ultra Burst, a name and form change awfully similar to Burst Mode in Pokemon and exclusive to Ultra Sun and Moon. Transitioning from Scarlet and Violet's terrestrialization into a Pokemon-inspired battle system might seem like a bit of a stretch. But is it? Adding a new battle type is not new to Pokemon games. In fact, double battles were introduced in Generation 3, triple battles were introduced in Generation 5, and Generation 6 introduced something called reverse battles. It is likely we will see a new spin on 3D battles or a new 3D battle type. And Mega's returning only highlights this point. You might ask, but why point to a 3D battle type? And to that, I also point to the Synchro Machine. Introducing a new mechanic like this so late into the game seems interesting. I say interesting because this mechanic was not unlocked until the post-game of the Indigo Disc, which is in the DLC. Speaking more on the unknown, where exactly are wild Pokemon going to spawn in Legends ZA? Shockingly enough, there are a few ways this could be handled, but the simplest way is to use locations throughout the city. A few of those locations might include underground, buildings, and streets. In Legends Arceus, players gain access to their own quarters. So it stands to reason Legends ZA do the same. But I expect the players' living quarters to be a larger part of the main story, and quite possibly post-game. Because we are in a city, it's safe to assume the players' quarters will look and function different than Legends Arceus. But with that being said, there are a few options for the players' quarters in Legends ZA. For starters, we may consider a hotel room. Alternatively, We might get a secret base in an alley. Lastly, going to consider the elephant in the room, point to Prism Tower, aka the Lumiose Gym. Now I know what you might be thinking. Why would we live in the Lumiose Gym? Well, there are a few reasons. Most important being that Prism Tower is central to Lumiose City. Actually, now that I think about it, it is very likely that Prism Tower will tie into the main story. If this is the case, and we do indeed live in the tower, this might be our best opportunity to be a gym leader. I mean, gyms are brought up during Legends Arceus, so anything's possible.